I don't know how to say or how to explain this situation, but actually, so first of all, this is not written in the description column of this episode, but actually, so how should I say? Anyway, I think this is a not. I think so. It's fine. I think it's fine for you to understand. This is the final purpose of this episode, or this is anyway. This has the ultimate purpose of this recording. Anyway, so Anyway, hello everybody. I'm Richard Gon of Work to Live podcast version, and at first, so I think some of you have already noticed that I'm already drunk. So I have drunk some booze, and I became drunk, and I've been drunk for these hours. Anyway, so there's a how should I say, not festival, but actually I had a supper, or I had a dinner today, and I became drunk, and my family is asleep, and I'm falling asleep. I'm going to bed actually, but I'm not on my own bed, and I'm creating this episode, and I'm speaking English actually, but actually, so to start with, this is my, how should I say, this is my another foreign language I can speak anyway, or I have a command of it anyway. So I think this I have been having a command of English language is a better expression for the state of my brain. Or, I mean, I have an ability of using foreign languages, but actually anyway, my mother tongue. By the way, my mother tongue is Japanese, and to start with, so I don't speak English natively, and this time, wait a moment please, so I have already digressed. So anyway, so today I have a lot of time, and because my family has already been asleep. I mean, all the members of my family have already been asleep. So they have already been asleep. So which is why, so I have got time for creating episodes of my podcast, and I'm going to create an episode of podcast, and I pronounce in British manner, in the British manner, but actually, so it's fine. So I usually use the pronunciation of podcast, using American pronunciation for describing my own podcast. Anyway, and I haven't got any opportunity for describing my own podcast. So which is fine. Anyway, this is an ordinary episode of my podcast, and I should tell you anyway. So I have just forgot to tell you the title and the conclusion of this episode. And the title is "Wait a Moment, Please." And I'm drunk, so which is fine. So I think slowly, and I speak slowly. And the title of this episode is "Wait a Moment, Please." Yes, I found this. I found the title and the conclusion of this episode. And the title is "Girls and Ladies Enjoying Torturing Boys and Men." And the conclusion is, how about torturing your boyfriends, your husbands, or if any, your male slaves? And I don't know the situations of your countries, but actually, so anyway, in picking up the present situation of this country, and by the way, so if you ask me which country I live in, and the country I live in is, and I could pronounce the pronunciation country well, but actually, and the country I live in is Japan. Japan is not Southeast Asian country, but East Asian country. Japan is an East Asian country, but actually the culture is really close to that of South Asian countries. Anyway, so for example, so the local people of this country extremely afraid of making mistakes, for example, which is one of the features of this culture, of the culture of this country, being close to those of South Asian countries. And I have stuff to drink, so which is why, so I proceed to this recording, drinking this glass of drink. Yes, this is good. Anyway, so I have drunk. So what I'm drinking is how should I say? Wait a moment, please. Really strong cider, which is what I'm drinking. Anyway, wait a moment, please. So I don't think this is fine. So I have found a web page of Wikipedia, but actually this doesn't explain well. Beverage made from the fluid. Not cider. So in typically this doesn't have alcohol. So this is fine, I think. This is much better, I think. Soda, or anyway, how should I explain this one? Anyway, I don't think this is fine, and I don't know, it's difficult to explain, but actually, soda, or anyway. Anyway, this is really close to cider, but actually, so this doesn't have alcohol, so I don't get drunk anymore. by drinking this one. Or how should I say? Anyway, I shouldn't talk about this one anymore. And this time, what I'd like to do is to play some porn videos, and in which girls and ladies are torturing men or their maybe they are not torturing their boyfriends or their husbands, but actually, those girls and ladies those beautiful girls and those beautiful ladies are torturing, so masochistic men actually. So in those porn videos, and they are actually, so as I have told you, so there's a recording scenes of porn videos which are what I'm going to play what I'm going to record, and what you can hear are the sounds of, or what you can listen to as the sounds of those porn videos. And anyway, so why this happened is that, so this country is not well off, meaning that, so this is what I wanted to tell you. And wait a moment, please. Is this application working? Yes, this application is working. So it's fine to tell you this, but so recently, Japanese yen, the value of Japanese yen was the value of the local currency of this country had fallen to the extent to which, so to the extent that the price of the price of $1 in Japanese yen is at 145 yen for $1, and before the fall of the value of this country, so the price, the rate had been, for example, 115 for $1, which had been exchange rate of the time over former time before the rapid fall of the value of Japanese yen in this year. So I could understand what I have just said is really complicated, and meaning that, so anyway, the values of, or the prices of the local currency of Japan are really cheap or reasonable, so which is fine. So if you live in, for example, so if you live in some countries in European Union, or if you live in, for example, other countries located in Europe, and if you're living, for example, in Asian developed countries, so it's a great time, I think. So I don't recommend, it's a great time for you to buy the stocks of Japanese companies, because this country is on a declining curve, which may last, for example, for 1,000 years, not for 1,000 years, but actually for some hundreds of years. Anyway, and I haven't started to play porn videos. Anyway, so longer than 10 minutes have passed. So which is why, so I should play some porn videos in which girls and ladies are torturing masochistic men. Wait a moment, please. I should start as soon as possible. Wait a moment, please. I'm going to adjust this one. I'm going to adjust. She has just told the interviewer her name and her age and her occupation, and her age is 28. She is 20 years old, and her name is Yui, which is her first name, and her occupation is a staff member of a fashion, or clothing fashion. I don't know. Anyway, so she's a staff member of a shop or of a company which sells clothes. Anyway, so and she said apparel training, and which means she's a staff member of a clothing fashion, or she's a staff member of a fashion clothes shop, which is what she was saying. And she has a part-time job, and she was saying this occupation for 3 years as a part-time job. This is a part-time job for her. This is a job description. She has worked for Cavalli. Wait a moment, please. Hostess bar or something? No. Gentleman's club? No. This is not a suitable translation for in English language. Anyway, so I can't find suitable translation of this Japanese language, cabaret club or hostess bar or something. Anyway, she has such an experience of working. And she has a boyfriend who is at the age of 25, and she has which means she has a younger boyfriend. And generally she was saying that she has a masochistic likelihood, or she has a masochistic tendency, which means so. But she in sexual intercourse, so she was likely to become a masochistic side, which means she's passive, maybe in sexual intercourse. And but actually in this part-time job, I mean, so she has a part-time job of fashion clothing, clothing fashion, but actually in this case, so she is going to do a job of how should I say, you know, so she's going to become a how should I say, she's going to, you know, do a hand job for porn actor, and she's going to force that person to ejaculate semen, which is what she is going to do. Anyway, maybe I should play this part again. Wait a moment, please. Actually, this is the point of this part-time job. So as the interviewer has explained using Japanese language, so what this Japanese girl has to do is to do hand job, and she has to bring the porn actor to ejaculation, and after the ejaculation, or after the orgasm of that guy, so she can't stop jerking the penis of that porn actor, which is what she has to do, which is what she is taught to do by the interviewer, which is the point in this porn video. And I should tell you the general constructions, or not the construction, but the general structure of this porn videos. And by the way, this is a porn video of my country. And by the way, this porn video comprises or incorporates some two or more sections, and in which in each section, so a porn actress appears, and a porn actor appears, and she jerks the penis of that porn actor, and she forces that porn actor to ejaculate his own semen, and after which she doesn't stop jerking the penis of that man, and and she enjoys torturing that man by post-orgasm torture, which is the attractive point of this series of this series of those porn sex segments, or which is you know, which is the point, or which is the primary attractive point of this porn video. And she has no experience of post-orgasm torture. By the way, should I go back for capturing some information from her explanation? And in this section, so the porn actor is tied down to that porn actor is ties down to love it. And so I have seen these porn videos. So which is why I know the content of this porn of this section. And the porn actor is tied down onto a bed, and she jacks the penis of that porn actor. And he may refuse her jacking the penis of that person. But actually, so that interviewer told her not to stop jacking the penis of that porn actor, which is what she is going to do. Maybe she has a day off in this recording of a porn video, and so in the case of this country, so I don't think it's good, but actually, so some shops are open on weekends in this country, so which means some staff members have to work on weekends, which is the situation of this country. And I don't think this is fine, because in terms of working conditions or working environments. But actually, the truth was and anyway, so in her case, so she has to work on weekends, but she has to work, but actually, so this time she has a day off, and she works, and anyway she works on weekdays, and even on weekends, but actually she has a day off, so which is why, so it's I don't think it's extremely difficult, or it's impossible to specify whether when this recording took place, which means so this recording possibly had taken place on weekends, or this recording had possibly taken place on weekdays. Anyway, so I should proceed to the scene of sexual intercourse. And I'm sorry for having you wait for a long time, but actually it's the scene of sexual intercourse is going to start. And there's a guy tied down to a bit. And welcome is what the man had said. In that, maybe that interviewer maybe that interviewer was asking her to do her own job, and that interviewer said, and you know, as she had explained in the preliminary explanation, please do various stuff as he had explained, which is what the interviewer had said. Which is what the interviewer had said. And she is tickling the nipple of the guy tied down onto the bed, and she is striking the penis of that person really fast. Is it good? Which is what she asked. And this is the introduction of post-orgasm, so I should proceed to the scene of post-orgasm torture. Maybe I should bring this scene, bring this porn video to the scene of orgasm, I think. Wait, is what he was repeating, and it's coming. I'm coming. Is what he was saying. He ejaculated. He ejaculated a lot of semen, which is what she was saying. And she began to ejaculate. She began to jerk his penis again. She began to stroke his penis again after the orgasm. And he is shouting. The guy tied confined onto the bed was shouting. He is shouting. The guy is shouting. And she is enjoying jerking the penis of that person. And she is keen on jerking his penis. I think this phenomenon is one of the outcomes of this present condition of this country. And I have maybe months before I created an episode of podcast, and in which I explained that this country is filled with violent cases. And anyway, so violent cases. How should I say this? Violent cases are tip of iceberg. Anyway, is my pronunciation fine? Iceberg. Tip of iceberg. This is just violent cases are just a tip of, or just tip of icebergs, or just parts of tip of iceberg, which means so there are many similar cases in this country, and finally she said that so torturing the man was really funny. And she could enjoy torturing that man, that guy, which is what she was saying. And who is she was Miss Yuki. I forgot her name. Not Miss Yuki, but Miss Yui, which is her name. And this is the end of this session, and I should proceed to another session. And how about? Wait a moment, please. So as I introduced, this is this as I introduced that this and but what I'm saying is, what I was trying to say is that so this episode, the title of this episode says that girls and ladies are enjoying torturing masochistic boys or men, and which means so I should introduce some ladies enjoying torturing men. And wait a moment, please. I should choose another porn video having, and the structure is the same, meaning that the porn video I'm going to play has some sessions. Wait a moment, please. This is fine. This is the porn video, I think. Not this one. Maybe I think this is, if this is not fine, this is not the one. So I should choose not this one. So I'm sorry for having you wait for long. But actually, so I should choose the correct one. Maybe I think this is one. This one is the correct one. Yes, this is. And it's difficult to understand, but actually her first name is Yurie, and so in the first section of in the first not so the first in the first not the first section, but in the first section of a porn video, so her name was really close to the name of the first. Her name was the first name of that young woman had really close first name to that of this old lady, and she's at the age of 48, and she has a part-time job of a reception of phone calls, and the local people of this country call that occupation call center. And but actually, she receives phone calls, and she poses, or she suggests some solutions, and which is the understanding of myself anyway. And the interviewer said that she looked younger, but actually, and she said, and thank you very much for that, and she appreciates that. But actually, so anyway, so she actually, I think the interviewer is correct, and she looks younger, but and she looks sort of beautiful, and she has semi-long hair or something. Anyway, her hair is not long, but actually. Her hair is not short. She takes some complaints from those phone calls. comes the description of porn video, and before which, so the interviewer asked her marital status, and she is married for 20 some years. Everybody is worried about recording the part-time jobs of recording porn videos, or every woman or every woman is worried about appearing to porn videos, but actually anyway, so and she's one of them, and but actually, so some creators are not fine, but actually some creators porn videos are fine, and some creators do not follow the local laws or the local regulations or local restrictions of their country, but actually, and but still some creators or some people follow the local regulation or local law or local laws or local rules of their country. I'm going to summarize this interview or this conversation. Anyway, she has an experience in hand job, and including having her own husband ejaculating semen by her own hand job, and this time, this is about her life. And this time, in the case, or in this part-time job, so the interviewer told or asked her to jerk the penis of a person, and so she needs to ejaculate the semen of a porn actor, and she has to ejaculate the penis of a porn actor, and she has to bring the porn actor into ejaculating semen, and after the ejaculation, she needs to jerk the penis of that porn actor, or she needs to stroke, or she needs to stimulate the penis of that porn actor, which is the inward, or which is the content of this part-time job of porn video. And anyway, so I'm going to play the beginning of this session, and after which I'm going to so bring this scene. I'm going to go ahead and play, and I'm going to go ahead and play the scene of orgasm, including the scene of post-orgasm torture of this session. And she began to jerk the penis of the porn actor. and she's touching and she's shaking the penis, or she's shaking or she's stroking the penis of a porn actor, and he is tied onto the porn actor is tied onto the wall of a white room. And anyway, he is tied and he can't move his own limbs freely, which is a situation of that porn actor. It's getting funnier, which is what she said. And I should bring the scene to the scene of ejaculation and post-orgasm torture. How about this one? This is the scene of ejaculation. And he's ejaculating, and afterwards she doesn't stop jerking the penis of him. And he's suffering from post-orgasm torture, but she keeps jerking she keeps grabbing and stroking the penis of that person, of that porn actor. And there is a blind behind him, so which is why you can hear the sound of something, clattering or something. And she is enjoying torturing him. Which is the situation of this porn video. Anyway, this kind of scenes last in this type of porn video, and this type of sections are incorporate this type of sections. This type of not this type of sections, but yes, this type of sections are this type of not sections, but sessions. This type of sessions are incorporated into a porn video, which are the porn videos I introduced. And this time I introduced 2 porn videos, and in which there are some sessions of sadistic women and sadistic girls judging the penises of boys and men, which is structure of the porn videos I have just introduced. And what should I do? And anyway, I'm going to end this episode, and wait a moment please. So I have stuff to introduce. Anyway, another one is that, and this is going to the final one in this episode, and I have downloaded some porn videos. And wait a moment please. I don't know whether this is fine, but actually, is this fine? Anyway, this is much better. This is fine actually, I think. Wait a moment, please. This is fine. And her first name is Koharu, and her age is 24. She is 24 years old, and her job is an office worker, and she's going to torture a porn actor by inserting a dildo into the anus of that porn actor, and she wears that dildo in front of the abdominal part of her own body, which is a type of dildo. I should proceed this scene. The description is fine, and at first, and she will. The interviewer asked her to become a man by wearing this dildo. By putting this dildo onto her body. Anyway, simply saying that at first she inserted a stock, not a stock, but she inserted a stick into the anus of a porn actor, and the shape, the form or the shape of that stick is dildo. Anyway, she inserted the dildo. She has a dildo on her own body, but actually, and she inserted another dildo into the anus of that porn actor, and that first dildo is thinner than the dildo she has put on her own abdomen. And proceeding this one, and she is going to insert the second dildo, which is thicker than the first one. And this poster is that she is raping, or she is forcibly inserting the dildo into the anus of that porn actor, and she is spanking, but she is hitting the buttocks. She is hitting the buttocks of that porn actor. And she is enjoying. I don't know whether she is enjoying, raping that pass. That I don't know whether she is enjoying raping that porn actor, but actually, this is a popular genre, or this is a popular category of porn videos in this country, and I'm going to end this episode, by the way. And anyway, so at last, what I'd like you to know is that this country is going to going to be destroyed? I don't know. Maybe the destruction is going to occur by ourselves, which means so the local people in my country are conservative, and the politicians in my country are conservative, and they are afraid of change. They are afraid of changes too much, and they are afraid of profitable innovations too much, and which is why this country is heading for destruction, and before which this type of contents got popular, and which is the situation of my country. And I'm going to recording this episode on August in 2023, or in the summer of 2023, which is the time of this recording. And I don't know whether you are listening to this episode, and I don't know whether you live in some hundreds after this present time, but actually, so if you have got some premonitions, or if you have got some signs of premonitions or presentiments of such destructions, I'd like you to move away from I'd like you to move away from where you live in and immigrating to some advanced countries. And this is one of the purposes why I created this episode. And if you live in this present time, and if you live in this country to start with, and I recommend that you live away from this country, or I recommend that you evacuate this country and immigrate into other developed countries or other advanced countries, which is what I'd like you to do this time. And I'm fully drunk, but actually, and so anyway, I think I should stop this recording as soon as possible. And the title and the conclusion of this episode. The title is Girls and Ladies Enjoying Torturing Boys and Men, and the conclusion is, how about torturing your boyfriends, your husbands, or if any, your male slaves? And if you check out the description column of this episode, and there's a link which is going to lead you to the webpage of our book, which is about how to torture men, or how to torture masochistic male slaves. And if you are interested in such masochistic field, please check out the book. Or please check out the book, which is another stuff I'd like you to know this time. And anyway, so people become, not temporary, but actually people cease to think about their own futures, because it's really so difficult, and it's really sad to think about their own futures, which is the situation of the local people of my country. Young people can't find bright futures of this country, which is why and some people cease to think about their own futures, and just some people begin to enjoy their own lives for example. And this is one of the ways, which means so some people have just found excitement or elations or fun of torturing masochistic men, which is, or in this case some girls have fun, or some Japanese ladies or some Japanese girls have found some excitement or some entertainment or some fun or some elations in torturing or crucifying or bullying masochistic men or masochistic boys, which is the situation of this country. So that's it. Thank you very much for listening. See you.